The MC hands me the microphone for the maid of honor toast. My phone vibrates in my palm. The screen lights up with a name that makes my stomach drop: Fraud Department. I accept the call and watch my sister Delia smile under the fairy lights. Then I tap the Bluetooth icon. The venue's sound system connects with a soft chime. Ms. Reeves. The banker's voice fills the ballroom through 12 ceiling speakers. This is Carmen from First Union Bank. We need to verify a transfer of $42,800 from your high-yield savings account. The string quartet stops mid-note. 300 guests turn toward the sound. Across the dance floor, my mother Ruth grips her sequined clutch so hard her knuckles go white. Delia's smile freezes like ice cracking. The funds were used to pay Aurora banquets, starling florals, and crescent strings, Carmen continues. Can you confirm you authorized these payments? I look directly at my mother. My voice comes out steady. Those funds were not authorized. The silence that follows feels like glass breaking in slow motion. Someone's fork clatters against a plate. The cake cart stops halfway to the dance floor, wheels squeaking. Ruth whispers something that sounds like a prayer or a curse. A woman near the gift table gasps loud enough for everyone to hear. My mother lunges toward me. Hang up that phone right now. I step back and adjust the microphone. My heart pounds against my ribs, but my hands stay still. The bank can stay on the line. My name is Maya Reeves. I'm 29 years old. I work as a public school counselor in a district where most kids qualify for free lunch. I've been saving since I was 19 for a down payment on a house. Every dollar came from somewhere: tutoring sessions after work, skipped dinners out, clothes from thrift stores instead of malls. I packed lunches every single day for 8 years. 2 weeks ago, I discovered my savings account had been emptied. The woman who drained it is standing 10 feet away in a beaded dress that cost more than my monthly rent. She's wearing diamond earrings I've never seen before. Her hair was done at a salon that charges $200 for highlights. Carmen's voice cuts through the whispers. We're showing payments to multiple vendors over the past 6 weeks. The total withdrawn is $42,800. Is this account shared? No, I say clearly. That account is mine alone. The MC reaches for the mixer panel. I cover the power switch with my palm before he can cut the sound. His hand retreats. He backs away slowly. Understood, Carmen says through the speakers. We're freezing all outgoing transfers pending investigation. No additional funds can be moved without your in-person authorization. A ripple moves through the crowd like wind through wheat. Delia's groom, Theo, steps forward from the head table. His boutonniere is slightly crooked. What's happening? I pull my phone away from my ear and tap the screen. The slideshow on the LED wall behind the cake table flickers. Wedding photos of Delia and Theo on the beach disappear. In their place, text messages appear in giant letters that everyone can read. Ruth to Maya, you'll thank me when you're married too. Family is one wallet. Maya to Ruth, that money is my down payment fund. Please return it by Friday. Ruth to Maya, denied. Don't ruin your sister's once-in-a-lifetime day. The venue manager appears at my elbow. Her voice is quiet but firm. Is the bar still open? I shake my head slightly. She taps her earpiece twice. Across the room, the bartender stops mid-pour and sets down the bottle of champagne. The fairy lights seem too bright suddenly. Someone near the back asks if this is part of the reception entertainment. Their date shushes them sharply. 2 weeks earlier, I woke up to an email I didn't understand. Welcome to digital banking, it said. Your e-signature has been updated for convenient online access. I already had digital banking. I'd had it for 7 years. My stomach twisted as I logged into my account on my phone. The screen loaded slowly, the little circle spinning and spinning. The balance should have been $42,800. Instead, it showed $312. My vision blurred at the edges. I had to pull over to the side of the road because my hands were shaking too hard to drive. I called the bank from my car in the school parking lot during my lunch break. Your e-signature was updated on the 15th, the representative explained. Multiple transfers were authorized using that signature over the following 3 weeks. I didn't update anything, I said. My sandwich sat untouched on the passenger seat. The bread was getting soggy. That night at Sunday dinner, I asked my mother about it. She was serving roast chicken and potatoes, smiling like nothing had changed. Oh, that, she said, waving a serving spoon. We needed it for the wedding. Don't worry, sweetie. It's our family money anyway. Delia twisted pasta on her fork without eating it. You'll live here for a while after the wedding anyway, right? It's not like you're buying a house tomorrow. You can save more. Something inside me went cold and quiet. Ruth showed up at my apartment 3 days later carrying a manila folder. She let herself in with the emergency key I'd given her years ago for plant watering. I found the paperwork, she said, setting the folder on my kitchen counter like it was a gift. Remember this? Inside was a power of attorney from when I was 16. I'd needed emergency surgery for a ruptured appendix, and the hospital required a parent to have medical decision-making authority while I was under anesthesia. I'd been scared and in pain. This expired when I turned 18, I said, reading the date at the top. The notary seal was faded, and it only covered medical decisions. Ruth smiled the way she smiled when I was little and asked too many questions about where money came from. Financial institutions honor these for family banking. I checked with the bank manager. I scanned the document again. There was a clause in small print near the bottom. This authority does not extend to financial transactions or property transfers. I pointed to it with a trembling finger. Ruth's smile didn't change. Don't make me the villain for helping family. That money was just sitting there doing nothing. Delia needed it more urgently than you did. Delia has a job, I said. And a groom with a job. They both work. They're starting their lives together. You're already established. You have a career. I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment above a laundromat. My car was 12 years old. The check engine light had been on for 3 months. I'm not established. I'm saving to be. Ruth patted my hand. You'll understand when you have children of your own. I tried the soft approach first. I sent my mother an email with a simple plan: return the full amount by the end of the month. No interest. No police involvement. No lawyers. Just put the money back where you found it. Delia called me within an hour. Her voice was high and panicked. Maya, we already paid deposits. The venue, the flowers, the band, the photographer. We can't get that money back now. It's gone. Then you'll have to find another way to pay me back, I said. We don't have $42,000 just sitting around. Then you shouldn't have spent mine. My mother's response came by text an hour later. I will not negotiate with my own daughter like she's a stranger off the street. Families help each other. You're being selfish during your sister's special time. You'll regret this attitude. I sent a second email. This one included a detailed payment schedule, $4,000 a month for 11 months. 0 interest. I even offered to push the first payment until after their honeymoon in the Bahamas. Ruth called me from Delia's phone. I could hear both of them breathing, conferring in whispers. We're not signing anything, Ruth said firmly. This is emotional blackmail and manipulation. It's a repayment plan, I replied calmly. You're ruining her wedding. You ruined my savings. The line went dead. Neither of them called back. I started building my case the way I'd been trained to document student crises at work. Everything written down. Everything dated. Everything saved in multiple places. I took screenshots of every text message. I printed the bank statements showing the transfers. I downloaded the IP logs showing where my e-signature had been used, an address that matched my mother's house, not my apartment. The timestamps showed the transfers happening during hours when I was at work, standing in front of classrooms. I contacted the notary who had stamped my old power of attorney. He was retired now but still kept meticulous records in his garage. He emailed me back within a day. This document was strictly for medical consent during a surgical procedure. It has no financial validity and expired when the minor turned 18. If someone used it for banking transactions, that's fraud. I saved his email. I printed it on official paper. I put it in a folder labeled Evidence with tabs and page numbers. Then I filed a police report. Not a full complaint yet, just an incident report. Officer Brennan took my statement in a small room at the station and gave me a case number on a yellow card. "Keep collecting proof," he said. "Banks take this seriously when it involves family members abusing old documents." I opened a fraud case with First Union Bank. My case officer was a woman named Carmen Patel. She reviewed everything during our first phone call. Her voice was kind but professional. "If you need leverage," she said carefully, "we can schedule a verification call during a specific time window. It flags the transfer publicly in real time." I looked at the wedding invitation on my fridge. The reception started at 6. Cake cutting at 7:30, right after the first dance. "Can you call at 7:30 exactly?" I asked. I met Delia at Bramble Cafe on a Tuesday afternoon. She was my only sister. We'd shared a bedroom until I left for college. We'd braided each other's hair and shared secrets. I wanted to give her one more chance to make this right before everything exploded. "Please," I said, stirring sugar into coffee I wouldn't drink. My hands needed something to do. "Don't let Mom drag you into fraud charges." Delia stared into her latte. The foam had already dissolved into sad brown swirls. "You always had everything planned out, Maya. Color-coded calendars and 5-year plans. I just wanted one day where I felt chosen and special." My throat burned. "You've been chosen every day since you were born." "You don't know what it's like," she whispered. "Theo's family paid for half the wedding. Mom told them we covered the rest. If they find out we didn't, they'll think we're liars and frauds." "You are liars," I said quietly. "That's literally what this is." Delia flinched like I'd slapped her across the face. "It's just money. You'll save more. You're good at saving." "It took me 10 years to save that much money." She pushed her cup away. Drops of latte spilled on the table. "I can't fix this right now. After the wedding, we'll figure something out. You could tell Theo the truth right now." "I can't do that to him." I left cash for both drinks on the table and walked out without saying goodbye. Ruth started a group chat the next day. She added my Aunt Vivian, my cousin Marin, and 2 women from her church prayer group. The messages came in fast, one after another, my phone buzzing constantly. "Aunt Vivian, Maya, your mother explained everything. Why are you turning on family during such a joyful time?" "Cousin Marin, this seems really harsh. It's just money. Family is more important." Church friend Patricia, a wedding is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Down payments happen anytime. You're young. Church friend Brenda, she's single anyway. What does she need a house for? It's not like she has children. I didn't type a single response. I took screenshots of every message. I added them to my folder under a section labeled Context and Family Pressure. My jaw ached from clenching my teeth. At night, I lay awake doing math in my head. 10 years of saving. 50 months of overtime tutoring. 100 skipped vacations and weekends working instead of resting. 200 mornings bringing lunch from home while my co-workers ordered takeout. It all added up to $42,800 that was supposed to buy me a future and independence. Now it bought my sister's centerpieces and monogrammed napkins. I asked my mother to meet me alone. No Delia. No group chat witnesses. No church friends. Just us. She arrived at my apartment wearing her work clothes and pearls. She poured herself wine from my fridge without asking, using my nicest glass that I'd bought at a holiday sale. "You wanted to talk," she said, settling onto my couch like she owned it. "So talk. I'm listening." I placed 2 documents on the coffee table. The first was the notary's letter confirming the power of attorney was invalid for financial transactions. The second was a printout of the specific clause about medical-only authorization. "You committed forgery," I said. "You stole from me." Ruth sipped her wine slowly. Her lipstick left a red mark on the rim. No jury would convict a mother paying for her daughter's wedding. That's what good mothers do. No jury would ignore a forged signature and expired legal documents. She smiled like I was being naive. "Who do you think they'll believe? A counselor making $38,000 a year, bitter about her younger sister getting married first? Or a mother trying to help both her children?" I pulled out a third paper. It was the bank's scheduled call confirmation. Carmen had emailed it to me that morning with the exact time and protocol. They'll believe documentation, I said. Ruth's smile finally cracked. You wouldn't dare. I asked you nicely first. You called it blackmail. Maya. Her voice changed, softened, took on the tone she used when I was little and scared. You're my daughter. I changed your diapers. I taught you to read. I walked you to kindergarten. And you'd humiliate me over money. You humiliated yourself, I said. I'm just making sure everyone sees it clearly. She left without finishing her wine. The glass sat on my table for 3 days before I finally washed it. Back in the ballroom, Ruth grabs a microphone from the gift table. Her voice booms over Carmen's calm, professional questions. This is a misunderstanding, Ruth announces to the crowd. Her face is flushed. Maya offered to help with the wedding. She's just confused about the timeline and the arrangements we made. I tap my phone screen. The messages reappear on the LED wall, bigger this time. My repayment plan email fills the screen, including Ruth's response in all caps, denied. Theo's mother, Anita, stands up from the head table. She's an accountant who works with numbers and contracts every day. She reads documentation the way I read body language in student meetings. She leans close to Theo and whispers something urgent. His jaw tightens. He looks at Delia, then at me, then back at his mother. The venue manager touches her earpiece again. Hold all dessert service, she murmurs to someone on the other end. Repeat, hold dessert. Delia's bouquet shakes in her hands. The roses are starting to wilt in the heat of the lights. One petal falls onto the white tablecloth. Then another. The florist approaches Ruth with a tablet. Her voice is professional but strained. We need a new card on file. The previous payment was flagged by the bank. The quartet leader stands awkwardly near the stage. Should we keep playing or? The caterer walks past them and stops in front of me. She's holding a clipboard. Excuse me, are you the payer listed on the contract? No, I say clearly. I'm not. Ruth jumps in before I can say more. Bill the groom's family. They said they'd handle any overages. Anita sets down her wine glass with a sharp click that echoes. We already paid our portion in full. We were told explicitly that the bride's side covered the rest. Theo stands up. He's still wearing his boutonniere, but his tie is loosened and his collar unbuttoned. What exactly is the truth here? Someone needs to explain. The room watches us like we're a television show they didn't buy tickets for. The videographer is still recording. The photographer has lowered her camera but hasn't left her position. This will be documented forever in digital files. Ruth's face goes red. This is a private family matter. You made it public when you spent my money without permission, I say. Carmen's voice returns through the speakers. Ms. Reeves, shall I proceed with the formal fraud investigation? Yes, I say. Please proceed immediately. The venue manager guides us to a smaller room off the main hall. It has glass walls, so everyone can still see us, but at least the voices are muffled now. Ruth, Delia, Theo, Anita, and I sit around a table covered in someone's forgotten coat. I lay out my folder. Wire transfer receipts with dates and amounts. Bank statements showing my account balance dropping. IP address logs showing the transfers came from Ruth's computer, not mine. The notary's letter on official letterhead. The expired power of attorney with its clear medical-only limitations highlighted in yellow. Delia's voice shakes. Can't we talk about this tomorrow? Please? Just let tonight be special. I look at her wedding dress. It's beautiful, covered in tiny pearls that probably cost more than my monthly salary. The train is 6 feet long. This should have been handled 3 months ago when Mom first took the money without asking. Ruth straightens in her chair. Her sequins catch the light. I'm not handing over a single penny to someone throwing a tantrum like a toddler. Then you're handing it to the bank's legal department, I reply. Theo puts his head in his hands. His shoulders shake slightly. Anita asks quietly, may I call the bank on speaker? I think we need clarity. I nod and dial Carmen back. She answers on the second ring. Anita explains who she is and asks direct, specific questions. Carmen answers each one with precise, professional language that leaves no room for interpretation. Yes, the account is frozen. Yes, the power of attorney is invalid for financial transactions. Yes, any attempt to access Maya's account without her written consent will escalate the fraud case to criminal level with potential prosecution. Is there any way to unfreeze payments tonight? Anita asks. For the vendors? Only if an alternate payer submits new card information for immediate processing, Carmen replies. The funds cannot come from Ms. Reeves's accounts under any circumstances. Everyone turns to look at Ruth. She stares back like a cornered animal. Her clutch sits in her lap, probably empty of anything useful. Her hands tremble slightly. I don't have that kind of money available tonight, Ruth finally admits. Her voice is small. The truth lands like a stone in water. Ripples spread across everyone's faces. Theo speaks carefully, like he's trying not to break something fragile and precious. We can cover tonight's remaining costs from our emergency fund. But we can't cover fraud or theft. Delia whispers, so the reception just ends early? Or we scale back significantly, Theo says. He squeezes her hand. Cut the Viennese hour. Skip the champagne toast. Keep the basics so people can eat. Ruth's voice rises to a shout. She's poisoning you against me. She's always been jealous of Delia. Theo's father, Martin, steps into the room. He's been quiet until now, standing guard at the door. We're not committing crimes to save a party. This is supposed to be a celebration, not a courthouse drama. He turns to me. His voice is kind but firm. What do you want, Maya? What would resolve this? Everyone goes still. Even Ruth stops yelling. They're all waiting for me to demand something cruel and vindictive. To punish them. To ruin everything out of spite. I pull out a clean copy of my repayment plan. Same terms as before. $4,000 a month for 11 months. No interest. No penalties. Payments start after the honeymoon. Sign this, I say, sliding it across the table. I'll ask the bank to treat tonight as misdirected funds instead of malicious fraud. Vendors get paid. No one gets arrested tonight. But the debt gets repaid on schedule. Ruth laughs, sharp and bitter. Absolutely not. Never. Delia looks at her. Mom, please. We don't negotiate with children who betray family. I fold the plan back into my folder. Then I won't negotiate either. We walked back into the ballroom together. The guests pretend they weren't watching through the glass walls, but the silence gives them away. The MC tries to crack a joke about family meetings and wedding planning. No one laughs. I take the microphone one last time. My hand doesn't shake anymore. I've crossed some invisible line where fear turns into clarity and purpose. Vendors, I say clearly. Please direct all outstanding balances to the responsible payer. That person is not me. I did not authorize these charges. The room exhales into murmurs. Ruth steps forward. You're humiliating your own family in front of everyone. I'm asking for what's mine. Delia looks like she might faint. Her face has gone pale under her makeup. Theo wraps an arm around her shoulders and nods once at the DJ. The music stays silent. The fairy lights feel harsh now instead of magical. A bridesmaid starts crying. Someone's uncle asks loudly what's happening. The flower girl asks her mother if the party is over. The venue manager returns with a printed invoice. Anita reviews it line by line with reading glasses perched on her nose. She asks questions about each item. She crosses out some entries. She circles others with a pen. Finally, she pulls out a credit card from her wallet. We'll cover tonight's essential services so no vendor leaves unpaid. But we are not covering what was stolen. She looks directly at Ruth. You'll arrange repayment with Maya according to her terms. Ruth's mouth opens and closes without sound. The DJ cues gentle piano music. People slowly return to their seats. Conversations restart in whispers. The photographer starts taking pictures again, but they're not the joyful kind anymore. They're documentary evidence. The cake sits on its cot, uncut. The top tier is starting to lean slightly in the heat. Someone asks if they're still serving dessert. The venue manager says yes, just give them a few moments to prepare. Ruth taps her glass with a knife. The room quiets again, reluctantly. Everyone looks exhausted and uncomfortable. As a mother, Ruth begins, her voice wavering, sometimes we make difficult choices for our children. Her voice cracks on the word children. I watch her struggle to find words that will make her look generous instead of guilty. Her hands shake as she holds the glass. Love is complicated, she continues. And family means sacrifice and compromise. Someone in the back coughs. Delia stares at her lap. The speech falls apart before it can go anywhere meaningful. Ruth's face is blotchy with emotion. To the bride and groom, Ruth finishes weakly. A few people raise their glasses out of politeness. Most don't. The venue manager dims the lights to hide how uncomfortable everyone looks. The music grows louder to fill the silence. Someone drops a glass and it shatters. I escape to the hallway near the restrooms. The walls are cool against my back. My whole body feels like it's vibrating. My hands won't stop shaking now that the adrenaline is fading. Aunt Vivian corners me before I can reach the exit. You didn't have to make a scene like that. I offered quiet resolution, I say. They picked loud confrontation. Cousin Maren hovers behind her, mascara smudged down her cheeks. Mom said you agreed to help pay for the wedding. I never agreed to anything. Maren looks sick. She told the whole family you volunteered happily. She lied to everyone. Maren touches my arm gently. I'll write a statement if you need one. For court or whatever comes next. I nod. I'll need it. Aunt Vivian walks away without another word. Maren stays for a moment longer, then follows. I hear them arguing in low voices near the coat check. Other family members are whispering and pointing. I take a rideshare home alone. The driver asks if the wedding was nice. I say it was memorable. He doesn't ask follow-up questions, which I appreciate. He just drives quietly. In the back seat, my hands start shaking violently. The adrenaline that kept me steady in the ballroom drains away all at once. I feel cold and hot at the same time. My teeth chatter. My phone buzzes. Carmen, case escalated to fraud level 2. Keep all communication written from this point forward. No phone calls. Another buzz. Delia, I'm sorry. Can we meet tomorrow? Please? I type back with trembling fingers, yes. Noon. Bramble Cafe. Bring Mom if she wants to come. I watch my reflection in the window. My makeup is smudged. My dress is wrinkled. I look older than I did this morning. But I also look like someone who doesn't disappear when things get hard. Someone who stands up and speaks. The next day, I arrive at Bramble Cafe first. I order coffee and sit at a table near the window where everyone can see us. No private corners. No hidden conversations. Everything visible. Delia arrives with Theo and Anita. Ruth shows up 10 minutes late, her face tight and angry. We all sit down without hugging or greeting each other. The cafe is busy. People at other tables watch us curiously. I slide the repayment agreement across the table. It's simple and clear. $4,000 a month. Automatic bank transfer. Witnessed signatures required. No contact between Ruth and me until the debt is paid in full. Anita reads it carefully. She nods. This is fair and reasonable. Theo signs as a witness. His signature is steady. Delia cries while she signs, but she signs. Tears drip onto the paper and smudge the ink slightly, but the signature is still legible. Ruth refuses. She pulls out a napkin and writes her own version, family funds borrowed temporarily. No theft occurred. Anita photographs Ruth's napkin. She timestamps it on her phone and emails it to herself and to me. That's evidence of admission and refusal to comply. I email Carmen, signed agreement from 2 parties. One holdout refusing. Carmen replies within minutes, understood. Proceeding with full investigation. 2 weeks pass slowly. The bank completes its fraud investigation. The report is 8 pages long. It includes the forged e-signature, the misused power of attorney, the IP logs proving the transfers came from Ruth's address, and the vendor contracts listing me as the payer without my consent. First Union Bank issues a formal fraud determination in my favor. They reverse the remaining charges. They restore my account balance to $42,800. They lock my account with new security that requires in-person verification for any changes. The vendors who were paid with Anita's card receive credits back. The venue files a small claims case against Ruth for the deposits she promised but never covered. Officer Brennan calls me. We're converting your incident report to a formal complaint. You don't need to come in. Just keep sending documentation. I send everything I have. Ruth tries calling from different numbers. I don't answer. I let every call go to voicemail. She never leaves actual messages, just hangs up. Common emails, funds fully restored. Account locked with new security phrase only you know. Ruth's church friends stop responding in the group chat after Anita posts the bank's official fraud determination letter. The language is clear and legal: unauthorized access, forged documents, financial exploitation of family member. Aunt Vivian texts me privately. She told us a completely different story. I'm sorry I didn't ask you first. Cousin Marin sends a long paragraph. I'm so sorry I believed her without checking. I should have asked you directly first. Delia and Theo send proof of their first payment. $4,000 transferred exactly on schedule. They include a screenshot of Delia's first therapy appointment confirmation for next week. I sign a purchase agreement for a one-bedroom condo on Lodge Street. It's small. The kitchen needs updating. The bathroom tile is outdated. But it's mine. The approval letter sits in my email like a trophy. I don't send it to anyone. I just look at it sometimes and breathe. Closing day arrives on a Thursday morning. The realtor meets me at the title company with a folder full of papers to sign. My hand cramps halfway through from writing my signature so many times, but I don't care. She hands me a key at the end. It's tiny and brass and looks almost fake in my palm. Congratulations, she says warmly. You're a homeowner now. I drive to the condo and let myself in for the first time as the owner. The space echoes because there's no furniture yet. I walk through each room slowly, touching the walls. The bedroom. The bathroom. The kitchen with its outdated cabinets that I'll update someday. I hang the key on a nail above the kitchen counter. Next to it, I tape a sticky note in my handwriting, paid by me. My phone buzzes. An email from a former student, Ms. Reeves. Thank you for teaching us about boundaries in class last year. I used what you taught me with my dad. It helped a lot. I sit on the floor and smile at the empty walls. The afternoon light comes through the windows at an angle that makes everything look gold and warm. Delia's next payment arrives on schedule the following month. Then the one after that. She's keeping her word. Theo includes short notes with each transfer, on track or making progress. They're building something honest now, even if it started in lies and deception. I block Ruth's last phone number. There's nothing left to say to her. Maybe someday there will be, but not today. Not this year. Maybe not ever. That door is closed and locked now. I fill a glass with water from my own tap in my own kitchen. The water tastes the same as water anywhere else, but somehow it feels different. Cleaner maybe. Mine. I earned it. I whisper to the quiet condo, not bitter, just true and calm. Families don't share one wallet. They share respect. Or they share nothing at all. Outside, the neighborhood sounds filter through my walls. Someone's dog barking. A car door closing. A child laughing. The hum of my refrigerator starting its cycle. These are the sounds of a life I built myself. A life no one can take from me with a forged signature or an expired piece of paper. I saved for 10 years. I lost it all for 6 weeks. I fought for 3 weeks more. And now I'm standing in my kitchen holding a glass of water and a future that belongs only to me. The revenge was never about humiliation or cruelty. It was about being untouchable. Firm. Lawful. Protected. And finally, completely free to build my own life.